welcome to your weekly foodie update. Just kidding. But we love talking about food. So, Jose,
Yes.
thinking about food, last time we talked about, what would be the last meal. If you could give a shout out to your favorite local restaurant,
Yeah.
what would it be and why?
So like a shout out would be to the local food trucks. There's La Frontera food truck on 16th Street in Beburin that I love getting tacos, get 5 or 6 all the time. There's Tallacasitas en Mesa for the birria. I love birria.
That's my tia.
And there's one that I go to get mariscos when I need on the weekend, pick me up. And it's in
Broadway.
Williams and
Oh, never mind.
yeah, so it's in Williams and it's in Chandler.
Oh.
So downtown Chandler, por ahí está.
Area.
And there's another one.
Okay, I
on
said one.
Gilbert and Broadway that I go. Come on. So it's Mariví. I think that's what it's called. I love food, as you can tell. So
Also, why are you copying my style? Anyways, I
Lack
pulled
of
the purple.
imagination.
I pulled the purple better
Yes,
than
you
you,
did.
or lilac, lavender, whatever you want to
it's
think.
purple.
Anyways, we have a lot of things to cover.
What is
I
yours?
want to give. Oh wow,
Yeah.
you're finally interested.
Yes, I know.
I want to say there's so many, but I want to give a big shout out to Mekong Plaza. You can find
yes.
any of the goodies of Asian in the Asian district in Mesa, Arizona. Anywhere in Mekong Plaza or H Mart. I know one of my favorite ones is doing like the Asian restaurant, Chinese restaurant in H Mart Plaza. It's so good. You should go try it. And if you're not in Arizona, come through. Anyways, moving through, we
Or
have
visit your local restaurants and where you're at and enjoy that local cuisine that people spend really a lot of time and their heart and soul into it.
and also come to Arizona. Okay, let's get to it. Jose, last week we were discussing many different topics. Specifically, there was a lot of concerns around IRS and collaborating with the Department of Homeland Security. So today we're going to be going through 3 segments, 3 topics that we're going to cover, which is the continuing developing story of IRS doing collaborations with the Department of Homeland Security, in this case ICE. Then we're going to be moving forward to discussing a new, very recent story around CBP-1 and how people who applied for CBP-1 through asylum are getting impacted. And then, because let's be real, these updates on immigration and education have been really heavy. We wanted to end up with a couple of positive highlights that have been happening thanks to the support of our community. So we'll do a little bit of that, and then let's get to it. So let's start with the poopy news, or the not so nice news. IRS and DHS, I know that if you haven't filed your taxes, make sure you do it deadline April 15, or file for an extension so then you can do it by October. Shameless plug, want to make sure you pay your taxes. But if you're undocumented and you're thinking of paying your taxes, Jose, what has been the most recent developments with the IRS and Department of Homeland Security? I know that there was a new development, so can you break it down a little bit about what has happened since last week?
So now the agreement is final. They are sharing information of non-citizens, tax returns with ICE, specifically at least what they're initially targeting is individuals. ICE is saying like, with these individuals that we have on our list because they have committed certain crimes, and we want to then look after them, and then can we get their information from the IRS if you have it? Again, then it like, what do you mean like certain crimes, and what gets you to be on the list? And that becomes that question.
Yeah.
But that's what they said they're going to do. What it does create is this worrisome, because again, it's about $100 billion per year that are paid by people who are undocumented.
Say that number again and louder for the people in the back.
There's nobody in the back.
Maybe they're watching the video like this. I don't know.
There's $100 billion per year that people pay, undocumented people, which means that I'll include myself. I'm a DACA recipient.
You're no longer undocumented.
Not undocumented,
but
right?
you could be again.
But it could be soon, right? But I'll include myself in this group for now. That we pay taxes, we're not eligible for most public benefits. So it's ultimately a net positive to the economy. So undocumented people, in essence, pay more into the system they take away. So this is actually going to hurt the long-term revenues of the country, and it's going to incentivize people not to complete their taxes.
So what would you say that it would be, how would the relationship between the immigrant community, non-citizens, undocumented folks, how would this impact just like their general overview or take on government agencies?
I think it will create more distrust within the community. Again, there's already initial distrust because you don't know the systems, how they work. It's language barrier most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as you get older, then it's like, oh, now you understand a little bit of the systems.
Yeah.
But now, if I file my taxes because I want to be a good citizen of the country, and also it might be needed for my children so they can apply for FAFSA, or if I have children under the age of 18, it might be eligible for the child tax credit, and they're U.S. citizens born here, and then I might not be able to do that.
And something also that is gonna impact besides the mistrust, it feels like you're doomed if you do, doomed if you don't, because if you can potentially, I don't know, your daughter, your son is turning 21, you're undocumented, and now you have a potential legal pathway for you to adjust your immigration status. They're gonna look at your good moral character, and one of the indicators is paying taxes. So definitely, this is a very personal opinion. If you haven't watched the last video, we encourage you there. We gave you a couple tips and resources if you're in the circumstances or know anybody who is, about what you can do and how you can seek a professional support during these very turbulent times.
Yes, and I will be filing my taxes, and I will be paying taxes this year
Quack,
again.
quack, quack, quack.
Like the young people say.
Tear. Moving forward into also a not so good story. Today we learned from the New York Times, there was a more recent story that there was a new announcement that CBP One app, which it impacts close to 1 million people, approximately 900,000 folks that technically did everything right. They presented themselves to the port of entry. There was this app that they were required to complete if they wanted to seek asylum, and they did everything. And then now they're saying, wait a minute, you don't have that. What happened? Break it down for people, and why is this alarming?
It's very alarming because, as you mentioned, is the Biden administration created a CBP One app so people who are seeking asylum can get into a system, get processed in a timely manner, whether it be a week, a month, 3 months, 6 months. Mm-hmm. You get an appointment with an officer, you plead your case, and if the merits of the case allow you to have legal reason to seek asylum, you're then released into the country and you start your case of asylum. So people did it the right way, right? As we would like to say, which is...
I know, that's always something that I get. Why don't you just do it the right way? Now, you had close to 1 million people doing it the right way, of getting themselves in line, and what is the government doing now?
So it's what they're now doing is they are asking the Social Security Administration to cancel the Social Security numbers of these individuals. Therefore, they're not going to be eligible to work, open up a bank account, operate normally how you normally operate here in the U.S. And again, this is also like double heartbreaking because there were people who were waiting for 6 months on inauguration day for their appointment. They had an appointment, and that day, President Trump also ended the CBP One app. So it's double whammy. Now they're using that information, and the app and the system was created to go after those individuals who are seeking asylum. But they're also getting a letter saying that you have 7 days to self-deport. So they're also, it's part of the process of mass deportations. As we've been talking about it, this administration is very seriously using every possible tool. What the basis for this policy, it's rooted in the 1900s during...
Time, Jose.
Okay.
If you want to learn more, you can Google it, send a message, and Jose loves history. He'll definitely give you the resources. But it is heartbreaking. What would you say in 1 minute or less? What are some of the unintended consequences, not only for the heartbreak of these individuals who did everything that they could to do it the right way, but also for the Social Security Administration? I mean, we're talking about close to 1 million people. So what's going to happen?
In tech, right, there's this line that is like, go fast to break stuff. Right? So that's like sort of Apple, kind of this whole mentality that you have Silicon Valley. Taking it to the government with these systems, I think could potentially create and the consequences, one of them is that people who are not part of the CBP One app and potentially be jumped into this, and their identity being erased. The other one is like you have people who are working their jobs, and employers who hire these individuals to work and to come and to be like, oh, now you are legally not able to work. How is that going to work? And I spend months
recruiting, hiring,
training,
onboarding,
all this stuff, and now it's gone. Or credit cards, what's going to happen to those who open up credit card accounts? What are the credit card companies going to be doing? Like, oh, we opened this account, and now they're eliminated. So, like, how do we get money back? All these other things that are into place are going to affect people. Let alone the anxiety is like, I did everything that you asked me to do based on the legal means,
and I'm still getting punished. So I think within that, if you are or you know someone who is being impacted by this, we recommend that they talk to an attorney as soon as possible, as there are guidelines that people need to be leaving the country within 7 days. Before you do that, we highly encourage you to talk to an attorney to explore potential pathways for you. So within that, before we wrap up, Priscilla is telling us you all have very little time, so let's get to it. We wanted to end with a high positive note because it's been so dire. I've been really feeling a little sense of hope and glimmer of hope coming out of two specific news that have been developing that were very concerning a few weeks ago that we were keeping track of it. One of them was coming out of Kansas City of a DACA recipient who is a father, does his job, has been paying taxes. He went to pay his respects to his grandfather in Mexico. He hadn't seen him because he passed away, and then coming back, CBP denied his entry. So his attorney decided to file a lawsuit, and then now he's back with his family. So I just wanted to send a lot of love to that family. I don't personally know the DACA recipient, but I can only imagine how sad and how terrifying must have been to be separated from his loved ones. Anything that you want to add about that case specifically, Jose?
Yeah, so first of all, we don't know the individual merits of the case because some of that is private. But what it does show to us is that some of the courts are still hold, that you cannot just write plain and executive orders and hope that, or take actions and hope that the people are going to look the other way. Community organizing helps, getting people on your side, telling your story, people know who you are. That also helps. Having legal representation, that's what we always encourage individuals to get legal screening. If you have a case, look for a case because you just never know. As one of the quotes that he mentioned was like, I didn't think this was ever going to happen to me. Because he did everything, when you took, as a DACA recipient, he did everything right, which is you apply for a Bass Pro. It's expensive. You have to go through that process. Yes. And then you did everything right, and then you come in and you're denied entry. So that's the thing is that is frustrating. Again, if you're going to use a Bass Pro as a DACA recipient or TPS holder, be careful.
And make sure you talk to an attorney and go to our page for resources. Something that I was very, very angry was about hearing about a story about upstate New York where a third grader, his teenage siblings, and his mother were seen as one of those collateral damages and were detained, sent to Texas, even though they're from New York, and they were detained because they were here living in the country without authorization. And something that broke my heart was reading that letter from the principal saying how they were so vital for their community. But something that has given me a lot of energy is that in a very tiny, tiny town of close to 1,500 people, 1,000 people got together, elderly women, teachers, classmates, third graders, who said they're our classmates, they are neighbors, we love them and we want them back. And after 2 weeks of a lot of fear and uncertainty, the family has been released. It is a developing story. We don't know what's going to happen, but I just want to give a lot of love to upstate New York and to the community who really embrace this family. And as you mentioned, Jose, organizing does work, and we can't be losing hope because the American public, they still have a heart. There are people who care about us, who care about immigrants. So if you're seeing this, hopefully we can wrap it up with this really good news. Last but not least, we're wrapping it up. We have 20 seconds, so making sure that you ask questions, drop it in the comments box. We will be monitoring them, and go to our website, alientoac.org/resources, so you can get a comprehensive list. We're constantly updating them, and see you next time. Y en español, vete al Facebook. Bye.
And go to your local restaurants or taco trucks.